Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and good morning, NFL fans, to week 2 of the 2019 football season, where this week our 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles fly down to Atlanta to play the 0-1 Atlanta Falcons. Coming off a win against Washington that was interesting in the beginning, but then we turned up the juice and scored a lot with a homecoming of D-Jack. Atlanta, on the contrary, coming off a disappointing loss where they nearly got shut out until like the fourth quarter against the Minnesota Vikings. But they still have a lot of season to go, a lot of hope. But once again, it's coming against a tough opponent, and this time it's with us. Now, before I jump too much into all my football analysis stuff, I do want to give a personal shout out to some people that are becoming my YouTube family, my YouTube football family. Every time it crosses my mind at the beginning of the season if I'm going to continue doing videos like I've been doing for years. When I make this first video, I get support from same people that I really enjoy hearing from, as well as they like watching the videos. So I appreciate every one of you guys. So I want to give you guys a shout out here. Like JHot247, LT, thank you very much for your comment. Most underrated Eagles YouTuber is back. I think that's freaking awesome. Thank you very much. Wolfick, Brian Harley, Roberto Martinez, of course, Josh Dickens. What's up, bro? I appreciate it. Yes, and it is that time again. And Ron Q. I also want to give a shout out to good fans of opposing teams. Niles Atkins. People come onto my channel and are respectful. Not absolutely everybody, but a lot of people. And this guy's a Redskins fan. And not only do I get to respond with respect, but my other YouTubers on my channel do as well. And we're not your average Eagles fan that gets in fights with Sixers players, whatever. But that's what this channel is all about, so I greatly appreciate it. So I want to take a little time out to say thank you to the fans of this channel and keep it going, and let's grow. And let's even get to a place where we can sell out like the Xfinity Center and we can just have a great time. But anyway, all that being said, the focus now is on Atlanta. I mean, if you look at the landscape of the NFL, there's some really strong teams out there, and I think this is going to be a really special season. I mean, I have to watch teams like New Orleans, you know, the Packers, the Bears, Minnesota, Seattle, and the Rams. I mean, the list goes on, and Atlanta should be in that conversation. Only a few years ago, they went to the Super Bowl. They have a lot of the same pieces that they did back then, but it seems like they're struggling to piece it together and create that magic once again. They have the obvious tools. I mean, it starts with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan does have the tools to pass for thousands and thousands of yards. He has people at every level. You have Freeman backfield, you got Hooper as your tight end, and you got Sanu, which is a sure-handed veteran receiver that just gets open. They drafted Ridley in order to take the top off the defense, and you can't talk about the Atlanta Falcons without talking about Julio Jones. The guy is just a beast. Always one of the top wide receivers in the league, top 3 or so. So they have all the offensive tools, like at the skill position, and we'll jump back to them as well. But then you also have the same thing on the defense. I mean, you got Beasley on the D-line, you got Jones and the linebacker, and you got Neal back there as safety. So you can see where at all the different levels, for the most part, they have tools to succeed. Quinn, of course, taking over the defensive coordinator spot because he believes that's what part of the problem was. Because if you follow, Quinn was the defensive coordinator for Seattle when they were kicking butt in the league. I mean, they're still kicking butt, but they're kicking butt with, you know, the Legion of Boom. So he's taken over that role for the Atlanta Falcons, but that's not their biggest issue. The biggest issue with the Atlanta Falcons is their offensive line. Now, I wish that I could say our defensive line is a juggernaut. It kind of is not right now. If you look at how we played against Washington last week, I mean, Trent Williams is still holding out, but we were only able to get to Case Keenum one time. We were able to pressure him a little bit more, especially more in the second half. But they made it work. They really did. And part of it is the veteran leadership of Case Keenum that I said not to sleep on. I'm not going to pretend like he's trash. The guy knows how to play. There's a reason why every team that he goes on, he finds a way to become their starting quarterback. I mean, he's done it for many teams. But their offensive line was beat up last week, and we really didn't get that much pressure. Partly because of Jim Schwartz's mentality of not blitzing as much. I mean, you can't blitz all the time. But this is a perfect week right now where Atlanta's offensive line, I think it's the right side of their offensive line, are rookies. And one of the rookies is even hurt, so they have to bring in somebody else. We should absolutely be taking advantage of that situation and going after them early and often, because we cannot allow for Matt Ryan to use all those tools I just talked about and light us up all weekend on Sunday Night Football. But just as much as Atlanta has all those different skill positions, I mean, yes, I will go through this week in and week out because we're still healthy. We don't have any issues except for D-line, which I'll go into for a second. But if you look at our offense, our offensive line is all, I mean, we got Dillard sitting on the bench. And that guy is like, looks like to be the future of left tackle. But then, yeah, you got Peters and Kelsey, and you got Brooks in there, and you got Johnson. Our offensive line is something to talk about. Our running backs, you got multiple. Howard and Sproles and Sanders. You have to, yes, like they have Matt Ryan, we have Carson Wentz. We don't have just one tight end. We have Goddard and Ertz. And then for our wide receiver crew, no, not really, Deshaun Jackson. We saw what happened last week with Deshaun Jackson. Welcome home. Awesome showing. We got Alshon Jeffrey. We got Nelson Aguilar. We got Whiteside. We have a lot of tools in place. And giving Carson Wentz the time to find them and score touchdowns, which we did a lot of second half of last week's game. And on our defense, yes, we have Fletcher Cox, we have Nigel Bradham, and then we have Malcolm Jenkins, and then surrounded with, you know, Maddox and Russell Douglas. It seemed like he got burned a little bit last week. So yeah, we have some tools out there, but we cannot sit. Now, Malik Jackson is going to be out. That's not good. Now we have guys like Vinnie Curry, and we have Tim Jernigan. We have some people on the second line of our defense, and we're signing people now off the street. But what we need to do is blitz and have consistent pressure on Matt Ryan. We cannot sit and let him carve us up. This is a bigger game. Like, this is a conference game where we can potentially go up 2-0 in the conference. We have to keep pace. I have to bring it up. We have to keep pace with Dallas. Yes, Dallas looks really strong this year. They really do. I'm looking forward to flying down there in a couple weeks as well. We can't think too much about that, but we got to keep pace. We do. We got to go 2-0 in the conference because this has a lot of potential playoff implications. And if we can bury Atlanta 0-2, that's one less team of plenty of teams in the NFC divide to get back to the Super Bowl, and also gives us tiebreakers with what we need. Every time we play Atlanta, it's the same story, and it's a close game. This is not a gimme game. I know what happened week 1 against Minnesota for them, and what happened against us with Washington. You cannot sleep on Atlanta whatsoever. Every time we play them, it's like a 5-point game. Yes, we have won 3 in a row, but it has not been easy, and this is not something to sleep on. You have to get at Matt Ryan. You have to know what to expect from him, and they're kind of predictable. For him to be rolling out, you got to go rush from the corners, from the edges, and you got to stay home because he's going to run right into you. Let that happen. Let that happen. He's going to come out and roll out to his right. Come off that corner and stay there and just wait for him and get those hands up and I'll blitz him early. But as always, you know me, I think we can do it. I think we have what it takes to beat the Atlanta Falcons, a hungry Atlanta Falcons team that doesn't want to go 0-2, and they're going to pull out all the stops, and you better believe it's going to happen. And they got plenty of reasons to do it against us because we've ended their season. in losses on our way to a Super Bowl. We started their last year's season, the loss here in Philadelphia. But now we're going down to Atlanta. You better believe that stadium's gonna be loud. That stadium's gonna be pumped. That stadium's gonna be hyped up. And they're gonna be waiting for us. Let's go down there and show them what we got and beat the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be a tough game, but let's not give Matt Ryan any room to breathe. And let's start their season 0-2. And let's start 2-0 for our Philadelphia Eagles, hopefully on a path back to the Super Bowl. And as we always do here, down here at the link, go Birds, baby. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Beat the Falcons, baby.